All right, everyone, this is Ron Wilkerson. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Like and comment. I'll do my best to answer any questions that come up. So, today, Sunday, what are we doing? What we're doing is we're looking at some images that I shot a while ago, and we're looking for an image that we can experiment with. So, I like that one, and I also like this one. But I think this one might be better because her eyes are more open here. This one's slightly closed. Now this one may be a good candidate because she's looking more dead on to the lens. So let's play with this one. So we're going to open this in Photoshop. First thing we want to do is assess our white balance. And possibly bring the exposure down just a bit. We still want this to be airy. So that works. Let's crop it a little bit. Okay, I think that'll do it. Let's go ahead and also enhance this image. And this usually takes only a few seconds, but it depends on, of course, the speed of your computer. And this is taking, that was pretty quick. So we can zoom in here and we can see there's a lot of detail in this image. So there are a few things that if I was going to do this, edit this image for my catalog or for my website, there are a couple of things that I would correct. So what I'm going to also do here, as you see here, back in the day we were using a lot of these little stick-on mirrors. I'm going to remove these mirrors. So let's start off by looking at, is there anything else we want to correct before we get started? So let's just start with removing the mirrors. So I'm going to Command J and duplicate the layer, and then I'm going to zoom in here, and I'm going to try just using the simplest tools that I can find. So right now I'm just going to see if I can get this just right about the right size and just take these out. And one at a time, just get rid of them. One more. And every once in a while you'll see that this tool can create somewhat of like a little pattern. Just go over it again. So remove that. There's a little scar right here. So I'll go ahead and take that out. I do see a few lines, but that's not really a big deal. Let's see, let's look at the ear here. Let's get rid of the earring holes on both sides. Like I said, you may have to blend it just a little bit. And there's a few little small imperfections, but usually you'll get that with your airbrushing. We're going to take this image and see exactly how far we can go with it. So most of the other things that I'm seeing here are not really that big of a deal. Let's see, flyaway hairs, there's a couple. Let's see if we can get those just to clean it up. So it's very important whenever you're working with your client or a model, emphasize hairspray, emphasize hair control, because if not, you will spend a lot of time fixing these when a lot of this could have been just taken care of with a little hairspray. We won't get all of them, but we'll get the ones that stand out that maybe someone would notice. Okay, and there's some around the ear. You got to be careful with this because it's going to be going into different shades. Let's see if we can take care of those. Oops. Make that a little bit smaller. And you don't have to get all of these, like I said before, because a lot of times the airbrushing will hide a lot of this because it'll soften the skin and blur out a lot of this. So rarely someone's going to be this zoomed in on the images. You know, they can see clumpy mascara or something like that. Rarely are you going to see that. Okay, so let's look at the full image again. So what I'd like to do here is adjust her body just a touch. We're going to try and even out her shoulders and also her jawline. So we're going to go into, let's go ahead and flatten that. We're going to go into liquify. And let's start with the jawline. Bring that in just a little bit. And it's the shoulder here that makes it look like there's something odd because there's such a dip here versus this one being so far up. So what we want to do there is to possibly bring that down even more so that, and when we crop this, it'll look more natural. Bring that jaw in just a touch. Because what I have in mind is more like a headshot, so that's where we're going to focus our attention. But some of this is still going to be in the shot, so we got to try and balance it out as much as we can, just so it looks even once we crop it. Let's go in here close and look at our eyes. Everything looks proportional. Yeah, we can make that work. So we want to put a headshot crop on this. It's going to bring it in really tight. Let's see what we're getting so far. It's not bad. It still seems like this side of her face is just out just a little bit too much. So let's go back into liquify and see if we can balance that out a little bit more. This side right here, I just want to push it in just a touch. I'm going to bring that shoulder down a little bit. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, so we're good there. Looks like we got all of the spots from where the little mirrors were. So we have a number of different ways we could clean up the skin. We could use Beautify 2.0. That's one way of doing it. We could do a frequency separation. If you want to go that far in detail where you're just doing all the little, painting and dodging and burning and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to pass on that today. I'm going to use portraiture. And we're going to zoom in and look at her skin. We're going to make a selection right here in T-zone. And you can see the difference between the two. Now we may still have to go back in here and sharpen or remove the mask so that we don't lose her eyes. Let's see what we're getting. Zoom in here. And that's our mask. So we want to paint with black. And there. See how the sharpness comes back to the eye. Go ahead and run that over the eyebrows. Same as on this side. Bring that eye back. Then we want to go over the lips. There we go. So that looks pretty good to me. We could touch up the eyelashes just a little bit, because it's not going to hurt to keep those sharp. Zoom out. Okay, let's zoom in so we can see our before and afters. It's pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and flatten that. Now what I want to experiment with is this new panel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. Infinity Color has this kind of randomizing generator for looks. So taking into consideration the color of the background, the blue in her top, the green in her eyes, and things like that, we're going to see what it's going to generate for us. So I'm going to do this as light. Well, it has light, medium, and intense. But we're going to go ahead and just do a medium just to see what will happen. Now that's a little washed out. So each time you click on this, it'll generate something new. That's very yellow. Kinda, but not there yet. Nope. Nope. Definitely nope. I still don't see anything that stands out to me, so let's try this. Let's try the color balance. I'm going to shuffle just the color balance. Getting closer. And I'll shuffle all curves. Let's give it kind of the warm look I'm looking for. I like that. So let's see a before and after. That's before. And that's after. Let's go ahead and run a harmonize, just so we have it. We turn that off, back on. And then you can go in and adjust these colors to suit whatever it is, because it's adding some purple and some green. So if we want to take the purple out, maybe make it a little bit more red, we can do that. So let's just bring that about there. That's going to warm everything up again. And you see how her lips change colors? They're very desaturated now. So if we turn that off, it comes back. Yeah, I'm not liking that. So we're going to just leave that off. But so far, I like what it did. But we're not limited to that. So that's what's cool about this. You could just go in and say, okay, well, I'm not liking any of these, so I'm just going to delete the whole group and start over again if you want to. You could start with maybe just color balance. I like that with a little magenta. And then we could play with our LUTs. See what it'll find for us. I like that. See how it made the hair much richer and the eyes are a little bit darker, more saturation in the colors here. But then it also made her skin somewhat pale. So if we turn that off, their skin's naturally warm. And this is more stylized. So I like that. So what can we do? What can we do? Let's take a look at the LUT that it chose. So we could always go in and choose a different LUT, so if depending on the LUTs that you have on your system. I like Fuji, so let's play with this one. This is a Fuji F125. It's the 2393. See what that looks like. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So at that point, you could just flatten this image out and, export it if you wanted to. But you can also go back through your history and just see different things that's happened, as you were going through this process. And you could save them out as different variants of the same image just so you'd have them. Now, this script does run somewhat slow. I noticed that it's really slowing the system down. But I'm happy with the look of this. I would, part of me wants to, brighten her eyes, but I think the look, the coloring and everything, it would look almost too fake if I did that. So I'm going to leave it as it is. So we're just going to flatten this image. And we're going to call it a day. So hopefully you guys learned something. I like I said, all I'm doing here is experimenting. I'm just playing with different filters, panels. A lot of these panels, you can find them, you can buy them. You can buy the Beautify 2.0, you can buy the Infinity Color, and just play with them, and see what you come up with. Now, I do like what Infinity can do, but it makes it very difficult if you're going to try and apply this to multiple images. Usually for me, if I was going to use something like this, this would be a standalone image, just one image out of a set. But there is a way that you can save these to your library, and then you're able to recall them and then apply all of the filters, all the whole folder stack, to your to another image. So you'd be able to basically copy this into your library, and then whenever you open another image, you could just drag the entire stack here back over that image, which is, basically give you the same look, almost like if you were running an action or a LUT. I don't know if you could convert this into a LUT. I'm going to have to really do some research on that, where it would just have these certain colors and look, to try and apply it to an image. I'm not sure about that. But if you're working with a model or you're working on something specific, we all have done this, we shot 500 images, but we're only going to use one, then this can be something fun. It's experimental. You can play around with it and look at different types of, looks and color combinations or whatever it's going to be. And then, from your, your color theme, you can start to develop, a look for that specific image, whatever it is you want to work with. If you're, more into the greens, or you're more into, whatever color set, you want to work from, and you just kind of start just playing with it until you get what you like, and then you go from there, But I'm going to leave this one as it is, and I'm going to bring this video to an end. So again, guys, if you have not subscribed, please do so. I want to try and get the numbers up on this channel, and hopefully you've learned something. If you have any questions about any of these panels or any of the things that I've done in this little video, feel free to leave, comments down below, and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you're not following me on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, which is probably, not YouTube, but on Facebook and Instagram, that's the fastest way to get in contact with me, because that seems to pop up on my phone, continuously. So if you have any questions and it's something that I'm qualified to answer, I will definitely do my best. If not, I will refer you to where I got the information from, and maybe you can get something more from it. So until next time, guys, it's been your guy Rome. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm out. Stay safe. and get out there and create something.